Hello everyone, my name is Ethan and welcome to the first episode of my Ironman challenge. So I was really excited to do this challenge. I mean, I have a main account. It's around max melee, 96 slayer, just working up. I feel like I need a new sort of challenge to work on. So I thought, ultimate or standard Ironman. So I went with the standard Ironman, of course. And as you can see of the orientation of my screen, this is the date that Resizable came out. So if you guys are wondering when I actually started this and how much progress I've made since then, that's what date you can refer it back to. So I talked to Adam and I grabbed my standard Ironman symbol. I'm not going to do a permanent Ironman, not a ultimate Ironman, just because I don't really want the whole tediousness of not having a bank. I like my necessities. So I'm finishing up doing Tutorial Island, get my warning. Alright, this is starting a new adventure. So, instantly, since I'm on a free-to-play world, I don't really want to start a free-to-play player just because that's really inefficient. So, I go over to my main, who's in some swaggy gear right now with my Fury ornament kit, and I get my summer special, which gives me 3 months of membership, only for 5 months. So, I thought, why not? So, instantly go back to a free-to-play world, go to a members world, and do my jump for joy. All right, so let's get started. So I'm doing all of my mage casts right away from the runes I got on Tutorial Island. I'm doing those all on goblins just for some not really for the drops, just for some experience along the way. So I get some body runes and cast my weekend, and go to the training wizard guy who gives you 3 mind runes and air runes, and I picked up those for free too. So I spent those, got 4 magic, and spent some time pickpocketing men. And these coins are going to be actually really useful in the future just because of the small things I have to buy. So I get 5 thieving, and what's the next thing I'm going to do? Alright. So I don't really want to make a second trip around, so as soon as I see achievement diary guys, I'm just going to start those right away, just because, I mean, it's just a waste of time just to go back. Plus, if I'm doing something along the way, I can just as easily talk to them and finish it without having to go back and do the same activity again. So I make my way over to Aggie, who's in Draenor Village, grab my tomato, grab my cheese, and this cheese is actually used for a quest. I believe it's the Witch's House quest, and where you steal the ball for the little boy. And so I grab 3 of them, and I make my way over to do some more things. So I head over to Garant, and I pick up my lobster pot and make some few errands around town. So I grab an Eye of Newt, I grab my wizard's hat, which the wizard's hat isn't really used for anything. It's just for some mage bonus. So I grab a few red berries, hop around worlds, grab a few more, which is going to be used in the Knight Sword quest. So I'm trying to grab all of these things really early on and in a relatively efficient order. So I get my meat, which is for the Witch's Potion quest, and go grab a few more ingredients. So this is the fateful time right here. So I walk over to the hobgoblins and went AFK for a second, and you can see my mouse kind of fly on as soon as I die. So that was a bit unfortunate. So I make my way back and manage to leave the island unscathed, along with grabbing my snape grass, which is also going to be used for a quest. So that's going to be used to make the hangover cure in Plague City, I believe. So I make my way over and I go to finish the Witch's Potion quest. So talk to Hetty. Alright, so I talk to Hetty, and I have all of the things required. I think all I need to do right now is to get the rat's tail and burn my meat. So I feel imbued with horrible power and 6 magic. Alright, nice. That's just a few early levels. Nothing too spectacular. And I head over to Karamjo, which has some very useful spawns to it. Alright, here we go. So I make my way to the general store over here, and there's a knife on the table along with a rope on the ground. So I hop around a few worlds and pick up a few ropes, because ropes are actually surprisingly very used in a lot of quests. along with like getting into the Lumbridge Swamp and doing all those sorts of things. So it'll be very useful in the future for me to have a few of them. So I go over to Brimhaven and take the boat to Artie. So this is where a lot of my a coin comes in handy. So I make my way over to Artie, get off the boat, and go and start thieving. Oh, no I don't. So I go over and I grab the candle off of the table, which is south of Artie, which I'm going to be useful, that's going to be really useful for getting into the Temple of Ikov. So I thieve all my cakes, grab my candle, grab my knife, and I did get 20 thieving. So I could thieve from silk stalls if I wanted to. So I used my knife, I used my candle, and I got a few boots of lightness. And the infamous two-factor authentication step, which was great. But while I was doing that, I actually got a genie. So I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it was kind of horrible to set that all up. So so I finished that all, and I get my 10K. But inevitably, darkness happens. So I get my 3 more K, an even 5, and go down for the 3rd level. And this is where it gets a bit dark. So I make my way in. Everything, look at this. Everything is totally fine. I'm making my way through. I get hit a 5. I mean, I should have eaten there, but I make it across the door, and then I die. So yeah, that's how that went. I was past the door. The spider just hit me with a telekinesis punch to the face, and there it goes.
Nope.
All right. So I make my way back, of course. I'm not gonna let a spider take me down and get my 10K. So I spend that 10K on miscellaneous runes, and I'm gonna. Oh, but before I do that, actually, I give him the research package from Rune Mysteries. So after that, he gives me his notes, and then so I go to the Varrock and I start my achievement diary. So yeah, just another space-saving step. So I go back to Aubrey. I have 1 GP left, and I spend all of my money on getting runes. If you go up into the general store of Varrock, you can actually get a spade spawn, which is actually really useful. So I just grabbed a few, and spent my casts on guards. I only did guards just because they were close. I mean, they drop a few coins once in a while, grapes, but nothing really too useful. So I get 7 magic and stay for a little bit and get 11. 7-11, alright. And I go and pick up my woad leaves. I'm going to grab 2 of them because that's what I need to do. That's what I need to get for blue dye. So, little bank update. 160 cakes left. I mean, that'll go down pretty fast, but alright. So I grab my casts and a few cakes, and now it's time to do Witch's House. So, just the first few forms. Ignore the bottom right. That was my just a lovely Windows notification that I didn't close. And safe spot the boss, and we're good. Alright, so I take the ball and carefully head back out, because if I get caught, that would kind of suck. And 25 HP. Alright, now I can survive the infamous one hit of the Fire Giant or Moss Giant. So, alright. So I went up, and this is before I even started Waterfall Quest. So I went up and I did the Barbarian Training, which, if you guys don't know, you can do the minigame teleport after that, which will save you a ton if you don't want to waste charges on getting a games necklace. So, I'm modeling my teleport right now, and I believe it's time to start Waterfall Quest. Yep, so I make my way through, and I grab everything. See, nothing too important happens here. I mean, I can completely survive, like, 2 max hits of a Moss Giant, and I have a bunch of cakes, so I mean, I think I'm good. So I make my way back up, and go through the Fire Giants. Yeah, I did get smacked in 11, so if I would have come here with only 10 HP, I'm kind of glad I didn't. So, I definitely made the right choice. So I finish off the Waterfall Quest, and get my Final Fantasy victory screen. So this gives me a huge chunk of XP. So 30 strength and I believe 30 attack with 26 combat. Alright, nice. So, just another little bank update after I finished the waterfall quest. 150 cakes left. It's going down steadily. I think at this point in time, I was thinking about going to lava dragons to get some alkables, but I don't think I did, because if I ran out of runes and didn't get anything, then that would be a bit of a problem. So I went to the steel plate leg spawn just to get a few bits of GP. And for those of you who have done the steel plate leg spawn, you'll realize that I'm not at the right spot. So after a few minutes of walking around, wondering about life, I finally get all of my plate legs. So, well, -4 for a knife and cakes. But alright, I make it out alive, and it's time to go to Louis Legs in El Carril to sell all of them. The reason why I didn't do plate bodies is because it's just, I mean, it's too far in the wilderness for me, and also just, it's really crowded. So I didn't really want to have to fight for a plate body spawn. So I just did plate legs, which, I mean, it was still contested, so I'm glad I did them. So I get a few bits of GP from the plate legs and steal 150 nature runes. I did all of this while watching Game of Thrones, so I don't regret it in the slightest. Plus, I'm gonna need these for Death to Dorgushan. But first, it's the fight arena, because I need to get my final bit of XP. So I kill an imp and nothing. Also, I got a bob random where it takes you to that island, and I got 7 fishing off of that. So I mean, off of those randoms alone, I got 10 fishing, which can instantly do like the fishing contest and get a bunch of them. So 37 magic. I'm just doing the fight arena and finish it. So that'll give me what, 36 attack? All right, and 32 thieving. So my next, it also gives me a pretty swag plate body. So I mean, I'm not gonna complain about that. Once again, the Windows update in the bottom right corner has struck again. But I'm just doing the Tree Gnome Village and safe spotting the boss as you do, and managed to finish it off relatively quickly. And even at the end, it managed to get stuck behind a tree, so I'm fine with that. Alright, grab my orbs, and I go and give it to the tree and finish the quest. Alright. This also gives me a bunch of attack experience, and I think from this I get 40, so I can actually wield a rune sim if I get it from fire giants. Yep, 40 attack. Alright, nice. So I think my next plan of action is to try, oh, it's agility. So I managed to get 10 agility off of this, and from this, first of all, agility helps so much just for running around. And my next plan of action is to do the Plague City quest, which gives me a juicy chunk of experience. So 15 mining after doing like a 5-minute quest, well worth it. And I managed to go, oh, I just got another bob random and got 10 fishing. So I thought this was funny because a level 117 is doing sheep herder. Decided to call him a noob, rub it in his face. And this quest, most people say it's not that bad, but I mean, if you get this red sheep, it is the most dumb mother effer that there has ever lived. It's just stuck behind mushrooms. It just runs so far forward. I mean, I hit it once with the cattle prod, and it like sprints back to its house. Like, look at this. It just booked it, like it's being chased. So I manage, out of sheer willpower, to get this sheep back where it belongs, and I can tell you it was not easy. So I finished the quest, and this actually gives me a bit of coin, which I'm pretty happy about. 3.1k. Also, not to mention 4 quest points, so I was pretty happy about that too. All right. So I managed to go and finish Rune Mysteries after dropping a few quest items like the portrait and just a few stronghold security notes and stuff like that. So I do drop my Glariel's urn. I hope I don't have to get that back. But I finished Rune Mysteries and go and just buy a few pickaxes. Only the ones that I can afford also. I managed to have just enough to buy the Addy one too. And finish Doric's quest. So I was far away from Lumbridge, so I just decided to commit suicide and go to Draenor. So I got 23 agility doing I did a mix of Draenor and I did a mix of Alcarid. The Alcarid is just a lot of running and it's a bit more tedious. So alright, so I can do all the stuff ready for the Grand Tree quest. And I was getting ready to do Death to Dorgeshuun, which requires 2 sets of ham robes. So doing a bit of clues, everything like that. And I get a Bob Random again, but this time it was not the one I wanted. But I did get 6 Grimy Toadflax, so I got an easy clue. And this is just while I'm getting my ham robes for Death to Dorgeshuun. I'm just completing all the easy clues that I can. And this is a pretty easy one. So search the crate, studded chaps, 3 purple sweets. But I was happy about the nature runes because those are gonna come in useful. So it was pretty alright. Alright, just grabbing some more easy clues. Talk to Sir Kay. And while I was in the area, I thought, might as well do Murder Mystery. So I finish off Murder Mystery while I'm doing my clue, and I get straight to 11 crafting, which now I don't have to do any more crafting to do flax. So in the future, I think I've picked 2,000 flax so far just to do that, but it's well worth it. Alright, so getting some Taverley, going to the guy, and getting my black pickaxe. I have a few of these in the future. I think they're the best for Abyss rune crafting because they're the lightest. And I wanted to commit suicide again, so I go into the wilderness, and this guy starts talking to me. I don't know why he's training on bears in the wilderness, but I'm all right with that, I think. And he ends up killing me. So, I mean, I thought it was pretty funny. He obby mauled me to death, but alright, so I finished the fishing contest and get straight to 18 fishing. Something that I did prioritize in the beginning of this account was to get the Artie Cloak 1, which, if you guys don't know, you can do unlimited teleports to the Kandarin Monastery south of Artie, and this is why I got 20 fishing, so I could catch some trout. So, I got my Artie Cloak 1, 10% more chance of thieving from stalls, alright, nice. And I got my cloak. So I can do infinite teleports, which is really useful because I have no current teleports to the other side of the map, past like Taverley, past that area. I have no teleports that can go there unless I wanted to wait 20 minutes or something. So at the easy lamp, you had to be above 30, so I was trying to figure out which one I could do, and I just decided to settle on HP. It's kind of a waste. I could have saved it, but it's not really worth it at this early in the game. So, and I get the infamous reward of 2 steel pickaxes. This is after I went back to Ham and got a few more clues. So yeah. And this reward is actually a pretty decent one, I think. This is actually a cosmetic, yeah. A powdered wig. At the bottom it says it's worth 407k, but I mean, I don't think it's worth that. But it's my first trophy cosmetic. I mean, who's an Ironman that can say they have a powdered wig? Or who's willing to admit they have a powdered wig? So, I go to Lava Dragons, I get a few bits of GP from doing all my clues, getting some nature runes, stuff like that. So I finish off my Lava Dragons, and this is mainly for prayer experience. Oh, and I log out. So I'm mainly doing Lava Dragons for prayer experience. So this is a bit of an awkward situation. None of us have knives. So we're just open, please. We're just kind of sitting here until our Lord and Savior comes out with a knife and cuts it for us. And I'm eyeing this level 3 up. I have fire strikes, so I mean I can go in ham. So he comes back, we finally end our staring contest, and I don't think I want to let this level 3 go. I'm a PKing Iron Man, alright? I am savaged, a veteran wilderness PKer with my fire strike and my staff bashing, so I take him out. I didn't manage to get his glory, but I mean, I couldn't pick it up anyway. but it's additional KD, so I'm more than willing to take it. And I couldn't pick up his lobsters either, which would be pretty useful. So, back killing, and oh man, okay. But the key to Lava Dragon PKers is they suck. So I mean, they're horrible at PKing. They go to Lava Dragons because like they can't take anything else. So I run away, trap him behind a gate, and spam click the logout button, which is a horrible idea. So here I am, spam clicking the logout button, and he catches me again, which was a horrible glitch that it just shouldn't have been in the game, but whatever. So I drop my mind runes, drop my air runes, and he finishes PKing me. So oh well, I wasn't that upset about it, but it was just unfortunate. So I finished off Death to Dorgashun, and I managed to pickpocket the ham guards. So I finish off my clue, and I get the pretty most juicy reward I can get. BAM! A blue Wizzy Hat G. That's the reward I get, and I'm stoked. I now have a swag hat. And I was live streaming at the time, so here I am, just a bit of a nerdgasm, and that's my swag hat sorted out. Anyway guys, that will conclude my first episode. If you did happen to like it, thank you so much, and feel free to stay tuned for next episode, because I have a bit of a surprise for you. Thank you guys so much, and have a great day.